following video is going to show you how to create a Camtasia video, So I've done my recording. I've shown you how to, I've created other videos where I've showed you how to record a video. So once you've recorded what you're going to do, how do you actually edit it? What do you do? So you can see on the screen here, this is what it looks like when you pull something up. So I created a little video here which shows you how to basically, I've just shown myself making a little PowerPoint presentation. You can see what I've done on the screen here. I just created a very simple presentation. So now what I need to do is I need to edit what I've created. So I have to think about, what is it that I want to edit? How do I want this to look? Where do I want things to be? So let's start. All right, so the first thing I noticed is that when I started my video, PowerPoint automatically, since I was using Camtasia, pulled in some Camtasia slides, so I don't want that to be recorded. In fact, all the way up to this point at about 40 seconds in, I want to delete because I haven't really started yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make sure, so this is, I can see where my sound is right here on this slide. I'm going to actually zoom in. So using this button right here, I can zoom in, and I'm going to go right to where I think the beginning is, right here. And I can actually play it and listen just to make sure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, make sure all my tracks are selected, and I'm going to press this cut button or split. What that's going to do is it's going to create a cut right here. I'm going to now zoom out, and I'm going to actually I'm just deleting them. I'm just backspacing on that part. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my video and put it back to the beginning. So now I have my video. I'm going to go to the end as well, because what happened is I said, thank you, I'm done. And notice that there's all this blank space. That was me just stopping the movie. So I'm going to go to my last words, which were right here. I'm again going to split. And I'm going to delete this end stuff, because that was me. I was already done. That was just the end. Okay, so now I have a clean video. All right, so if I was going to take this into a podcast and make this a video and a podcast right now, I'd probably go to share audio and export audio only, because now that my audio is cleaned up, right? Okay, so next thing I want to do. I need to look how I'm really small on the picture here. I want myself to be a little bigger so people can see my head. So I'm going to increase the size of this. And they don't actually need to see me do anything. Where do I want to place myself on the screen? I think for this video, I'm going to place myself in the upper corner here. But one thing I've noticed as I scroll my mouse out is I don't like this green behind me. And I noticed there's some white here and stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop. Just because I only need my head, right? And I don't need my whole body there. I just need part of my head. That's fine for this video. Okay, so now I'm cropped, because I went to crop right here. I'm going to go back to my selection. And what I'm going to do is I don't like this background, so I'm going to get rid of it. Now, I've used a green screen to record this so that it's very easy to take it out of the background so that it's clear. If you record for, you can use a white background, black, blue. Blue and green work the best because of the contrast. Even though I have somewhat of a green shirt on here, it'll still take it out very easily. So we're going to zoom in. And I am going to take myself out of the picture. So how do I do that? I'm going to go to Visual Effects, Remove a Color. I'm going to drag Remove a Color onto my track that I want to remove the color of. On the right-hand side of the screen in my properties, notice how this has appeared. I'm going to select the color and select my dropper. Because what the dropper is going to do is it's going to allow me to select on my screen a color. Usually I'll select a light color. I'll usually try to select one of the lightest. And look at that. Just by selecting it, automatically took it off. You might have to adjust a little bit, play with your tolerance and softness. You can change your hue if you need to. I usually don't ever touch that. But I usually do have to play with my tolerance and softness. Now, one thing I'll recommend if you are trying to take yourself out of the picture or use a green screen, do a bunch of tests to set your lighting up. Because, I have a bunch of lights happening while I'm recording. I don't just have, I don't just go in my room and start recording. I have lights set up. You usually want to use around 3 lights, but you might have to use up to 5. And you're going to have to go in and really figure out what's the best position in lighting for me to take myself out of the picture. All right. So I've done that. I've taken myself out. I can test it. I don't see any green on the screen anywhere. My whole background's been deleted. Perfect. I've done that. Okay, so now what do I want to do? There's so many different things that you can do in Camtasia. So let's say at one point in my video right here, I want to add a call out, which is just a basic word, and I can add any of this. There's all kinds of stuff I can add in here. I'm just going to add a piece of text. I'll just put it right here next to me, or I'll put it on the screen like I'm trying to say something, you know, like this is doing something. Notice what happens. It's on track 3 automatically, and look how the duration of it. It's short. If I wanted to extend the duration, I could by just extending it, but I don't want to do that. I want it to be short because it's just going to be like a 2-second little pop-up, and then I could just click on it and type in, you know, whatever I want to type in. And if I were to play my video, it's going to go through and that's going to pop up for a second. And that's the same with any of these options. There's so many different ones. Like I could have cursor effects, or I could change the cursor for part of my video. You know, I could, if I needed to add something in, like a new piece of narration, I can do that. Audio effects. So if I wanted to fade in and fade out, I could do things like that. I'm not going to really mess with a lot of that stuff because I don't use it too often, to be honest with you. I do use remove a color quite a bit because I remove myself. Sometimes I'll want my personal self to be black and white or something like that. But I usually don't play around with too many other things. Clip speed, I like to keep the same. I want my frames per second to stay on default of 30 frames per second. You know, so I really don't play around with a lot of this stuff, but it's really a matter of picking what you want to do and dragging it onto the screen. Very easy to use any of this stuff. Okay, so media is like, you know, they have all these cool like icons and stuff that I can bring in. So if I wanted to bring in a picture of a house right here when I had that call out, I now have a picture of a house and I can change the size and modify it. But they have a lot of different ones that I can really play with. But what I'm going to do here is I am actually going to do 2 things. So one, I've realized, you know what? I don't want my background to be clear. I don't want it to be see-through. I actually want a blue background. So what I've done is I've went to File, Import to Library, and imported something called Blue 1. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put blue onto the screen. I'm going to make it the whole entire movie. Make sure about the size. One thing you'll notice is that I have this, it automatically by default snaps so that things are the same. You can change that, but I like to keep it. I like the snapping, so I keep it the same. All right, so here's my blue background. I am going to cover my whole entire face with this blue background. Now what I need to do is I need to put this behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this layer above the blue, and now look. I'm just showing you different options. I'm not saying I like this look better, the blue, but just showing you how you would add a new background for yourself. All right, so now what I want to do, I have my whole movie created. I probably want to put, you know, I've saved it and everything, and I've done my animations or however, and I've cut it up and added all the stuff I want to do. Now what I'm going to do is I want to probably add like some kind of intro to welcome myself, right? So I can go to music tracks, and I can add a piece of audio. You're going to have to play the sounds to figure out what you like, but let's say I like this at the top. I'm going to drag it onto the screen. Notice how the song is actually bigger than my whole movie. Very simple. I'm going to select the part of the song that I like and the length of time and just put that in the beginning for my intro song. I'm also going to take an intro that they've created. Let's see, where are the intros? Animated backgrounds, graphics. Here we go, intro clips. I'm going to pick one of these, and I'm going to put that on the screen. Notice how my intro and song are not the same size. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make them the same exact size. Go to my intro, look at its properties, change anything I want to, you know, like change the names and titles. If I wanted to change that image, I would. And I've now got an intro. But what I need to do is I need to make sure my video isn't playing the same time my intro is. So I'm going to actually pull my video and I'm going to select everything by just holding down the Shift key and selecting. I've got everything selected and I'm going to put my movie to start after my intro plays. And then I can create credits too the same exact way. Just the same way I did this, put them after. So now when I play my movie, it's going to play. Here's my intro. The music would be playing. And then we would start on my video. And then I could have end credits or something like that. But this is how you put it together and actually create a video and start to edit and cut things out. If I needed to re-record, I could re-record and add that clip right next to this one. Or put something in very easily. Look, I can go right here in this video clip, split it, and break it up and put something right in there. I can just take pieces of this video clip and delete part of it if I want to. Like if I said one word in the middle that I didn't like, or a sentence or something like that, I can just delete it. And then once I'm done, I save it and publish it. I publish it. I like to publish the local file. But you publish it however you want to, and that's it. You're done. But that's kind of how you, once you've created a video and you have it, you go in and actually start to edit. Very easy to do in Camtasia. Thank you.